with how this video began, I thought about not making this the main video of my YouTube channel, and it's not gonna be, but it's gonna be for a while. But I guess I'm gonna just cut it up to this point. And if you have never seen me before, hello, this is Carol the Kaiser, and welcome to this YouTube and Twitch, because this is straight from Twitch. Here is where I reached AR59 in this precise spot. I would like to make it date just to make it brighter. Let me just strip it up, and then I'm gonna say what the title of this video states. This is an account review because I had to do this a long time ago, and I keep delaying it and delaying in Winds of Kazuha getting here. But he never did, and he won't be here until 2.6. So I may as well not delay that video anymore, and here in the place where I reached AR59, let me show you what this Spanish dolphin account looks like. I'll go like every character, stats, weapon, artifacts, you know. Whoa. Hey Andrew, how you doing? Thanks for showing up, man. Wait, what up? Feel free to stay. We're gonna hold up. There we go. Just said something for a group. What up, Andre? Oh, as I was saying, I'm just about to begin the full account review. Thanks for showing up, everyone. And without further delay, as I was saying, I'm gonna go like stats, weapon, artifacts, one by one. If there's something funny about any artifacts, I'm just gonna say it, I guess. Constellations, talents, and whatnot. Just to begin with, the only characters I don't have are there was another way to show you all, but the other characters I don't have are Klee, Kokomi, and I don't know, someone else. I don't know. Someone else I don't care, I think. No, actually, the other one I don't have is Kazuha, but I will have it as soon as he shows up in 2.6. Therefore, let's begin with Hutao, because she's the one I have on the team. Kinda. And it's just saying that I left one game for another, but that's not quite true. But whatever. Thing is, let's get on with this. Hutao right now looks like this: 71.5 to 30, and a good amount of VR. I'm quite proud of this amount of VR. It's really decent. Staff of Homa, Refinement 1, there's no need for more. Just a 5% increase and some additional increase, it's not worth your money. The staff itself it does, because crit damage is really good. But that's how she rolls. Artifacts wise, this is the setup. Let's begin with the flower, which is light on damage, crit damage. It could be better, but this is like 3 rolls on crit, basically. Okay. Hold on. Okay, up to the flower. Sorry about that, I was answering a phone. This one's really good. I love this one. A lot of crit, both crits. This defense could be like speed percent or attack percent, but you know. And some ER. This was like 1 hit here, 3 hits here, and 1 hit here. It was really good. Sense Piece. This is the one I don't like, because I could have more crit damage. But this was like a 3 starter piece, and it here once, and here twice, and the stat that born was this one. So yeah, not the best, but the numbers are still good, and what's most important is the crit. If I had like crazy crit overall on the helmet, we could like run this one, which is on Yoimiya right now. But I'm missing crit rate, and this also has really nice subsets. This is 2 rolls into crit damage, 2 rolls into ER, and 1 roll into defense because, not everything can go swimmingly. And as the last, this is the goblet, and this is, besides this defense over here, this is great. I have 0 complaints about this goblet. Hutao, one of my best personal characters, and always a great partner with Shinto. Always. But more when we get there. Yeah, hold up. About constellations, I got C1. I rolled into this the second rerun. The first rerun I got Hutao for 19 wishes. It's also on YouTube. And this one I think I had Primos and some stuff to spare, and then I just got it. And it changes the character, and that's some of the only constellations I got for like 5-star characters. Raiden is the exception, because I rolled into the first one by going for it, and the second one was 1 wish into every single wish, but more on that when I get to Raiden. Talents, yeah, she's quite heavily invested in. The normal attack's crowned. The E and Q are both at level 9. I could do more, yeah, but at the same time, this is a lot of stuff that I may as well get for someone else. I mean, the increase you're gonna get from this, it's like some, but at the same time, welcome back, Stingman. I've begun the review already. Just to recap, this is how Hutao sits at, with Staff of Homa, artifacts, this, and this, and C1 and 1099. Okay, you're up to speed. What up? Guess what? Hold up. Oh, besides my light going off. What up, Stingman? We're waiting for you here. You also got Hutao with Homa? Is that it? Come on, bro. Guess what? What? Come on. Well, I may as well go with Raiden. I'm gonna copy you when I reach you. Into Raiden we go. This lady, really good. I've managed to get her stats to a decent point. I know I could use some additional ER, but as it sits, I really like it. The only thing I don't like is that this crit is actually good, but not really good. It's not like 68 or 70. Then sometimes when she uses her Q, her burst, she misses, and that's very annoying. But at the same rate, her whole burst is so good that it's not actually a problem. It is a problem when you're gonna when you go to a base and whatnot. But weapon-wise, it's the engulfing lightning. Really good for her. It's like almost her best in slot. And 0 complaints. This was, as a unit, this was expensive. You can go check that on YouTube, which is actually one of the things I hated about Raiden. Thank God I had spare money, but Raiden was harsh. But in the end, it was harsh getting both the weapon and her. But at the same time, it's one character that I managed to get up to C2, and this is ridiculous. The C1 basically helps your E skill, but this one is crazy because Holy fuck, 60% ignore of defense. 60, what the F? Yeah, not over here. Yesterday did the base and managed to clean up to 11-3, was it? But at the same point, uh, you've picked up like 1200 primos. So that's a lot of primos out of the gate. And as soon as you get both the teams, you can just go and do up to level 8. Then level 9, 10, 11, and 12 are the ones that reset every week. Back to here. Talents. This is not mandatory, but I just enjoy Raiden as a character, so I've gotten some spare bows into this. Why not? This is up to level 9. Don't crown this. Like, you'll get some increase on the damage, but no. And yeah, this you should and may as well crown. This skill is insane with every single definition. If you don't have Raiden, this skill not only deals a bare load of damage, especially with C2, but this recharges every single Q of your team. The energy you get it for everyone. This Q loads your other Qs, including this Q again, and then you only gotta wait for the cooldown, which is long. You got 7 seconds, and in 7 seconds, you fill your Q and and perhaps others. Yeah, it's not like a cheat code that you just use your Q and everything's full for sure. No, but if you do the damage rotations and the energy generation rotations that you usually do, this is cheat codes. Raiden may as well be the craziest character in game because no one loads your Qs but her. Artifacts wise, first of all, I got some higher artifacts, but first of all, I got more characters, and I wanted this ER. I know I could like get her Goro's one, but this is missing ER, and this is like 3 rolls on ER, which is decent. 3 rolls here, and 2 rolls here, 1 here, and 2 here. This was a 5-starter. Feather. This has crit, his ER, damage, everything you want. This is the off piece actually. 13.2 crit rate. This solved all my crit rate problems. Right off the get go. This was really good. Because I was struggling a lot with the older sand pieces I had. And as soon as I got a good goblet, see? This actually was a new goblet that rolled once. This is the old one, and this is the new one. It also has ER, but it rolled into crit another time. So I'm using this one right now. And this is just an off piece that this might go to like a trash character, like, I don't know, Albedo or something like that. Helmet, you need crit rate, and I was very lucky, and it just all went into here. This is what came out from. Actually, it went into life once, but everything else went into crit. It was really crazy, and the good thing is that since I got this helmet, I could free other helmets, like this one, for example, which is also incredible. Now I've got this just sitting, lying, and waiting for anyone that can use it. That's it for Raiden. C2 as I told you, and talents we've already talked about it. Just a refresher, this is how it stands. And it's gonna be like this for a while. I've got quite tired of farming that domain. Next, Zhongli, good old Geo CEO. My Zhongli build is kinda weird. As you can see, there's like low HP overall. But this is actually fine because this shield is so good that the only time that it breaks is when you get like really, really, really smacked by the attacks of Mabukenki. You can shish though, okay? This is insane. This skill is insane because it's not only about the percentage of your max HP, but this shield, as as soon as you get hit, it gets better, which is nuts. And then not only you get an additional 150% of all. I mean, you get all your HP. You get how many HP you get from the shield, and then you multiply for times 1.5, and that's the HP you got on the shield, and it's a lot. I made the calculus back in the day. It was close to what was it? We could actually make the calculations. I'm just kind of. It has 2,000 and some base plus this, which is like 25% of my HP. This should be. I don't want to do math on air. Thing is, this was a lot of HP once I made all the numbers. Then you gotta multiply it by 1.5 because this is what this is all about. Sometimes not all the information is here, but this is still a thing, and it goes for all kinds of damages, either elemental or physical, and it also has shred, physical and elemental shred to the enemies that are in here. Effectively, Vivarax Lapis. Effectively, my man. About his stats, I like his stats where he's sitting at. Has good amount of VR because of the weapon, and decent crit damage and decent crit rate. This could be a good DPS Zhongli, and I should and might tinker with his stats when I get another staff of Homa. For now, he's got the Skyward Spine. If you don't have the Skyward Spine, Favonius Lance works exactly as good or better. Not better because you get crit rate, you get additional stuff, you get ER. This one's better overall. Also increases the damage of your good old meatball, which is level 10 by the way as well. 900%, and if you get Constellation, it's over 1,000. Over actually 1,200. It's quite fat, and the time goes up to 5 seconds, which is a lot of time. Artifacts. Before C0, yeah, I just said Hutao and Raiden. Besides the Quick Quiz Deluxe and the fail 50-50 stuff, but that's not on my control anymore. There, as we were saying, I leveled this up because there was a time I was running Zhongli as kind of a DPS, and it was fun with physical damage and whatnot, and with the DPS weapon of the Forge. But that long ago. Now he's just a massive support, and he's quite an all around. He has a lot of attack. He has ER, so it loads the Q fast. Tenacity is quite his set to run, and as I said, I'm running it quite different that most people will do, because on the sands I got attack percent, and I could, for example, swap with Diona's one as soon as I find her. Oh, actually, Diona's running another one now, I guess. We'll see when we get there. I could run this one because it had its speed percent and whatnot, but it just hits more with attack percent, and this has more crit rate than the other one. And I'm kind of on the limit of the crit rate, so I may as well leave it as it is. This feather's awesome, no complaints here, none for me. The sand speed we already talked. Geo with double crits. This defense could have missed, but you know. Other Geo goblets, I got other Geo goblets, but they are on use. You'll keep seeing them along the way. And this helmet, which is fucking nuts, for crit rolls. Maybe people don't find what you post, or unless they don't look for it, they won't. They are not gonna see it. Also, this should be a developers and that kind of stuff problem. And if they don't fix it, it's because maybe they don't see it. It's a lot of data gets lost overall. Anyway, back into this. I've already said everything about Zhengli. Good old CEO of the GEO, drunk as fucking her osmanthus wine. But next to him we got the true MVP of this game. Good old Bennett, Benny boy. My Bennett is my Bennett. It's special. I don't run it like most of people, all HP and whatnot. This guy, I want him to hit, but he's got a lot of ER. If you begin counting stats overall, this is a lot of stats. A lot of good stats. There's no EM on here. I want ER, ER, ER. But now you'll get why I say this. If you say 52.9, you most likely assume that I got the crit rate helmet. That's it. No. Let's see how this goes. First of all, people say Aquila Favonia versus Skyward Blade. The passive of Aquila Favonia, the sub effect is good. The substat is not good because it's physical damage. I much rather have ER on it, by a milestone. Everyone should give Benny more and all the love. This character is broken, is busted AF. Let's begin with the artifacts because this is not the setup you might be used to. Prioritizing ER and then create rate. That's the main two. See, this feather is awesome actually. HP because this way he heals more. Damage, two rolls here, one roll here, and this is the other substat, one roll here. Great, no complaints whatsoever. Now, yeah, I'm running him on attack percent and it has double life, so that's also good. Thing is, I would have loved if this went here, because then it would be close to 20%, and that's half an artifact, which is kind of making two artifacts into one. But at the same point, I want him to hit, because in Abyss, the more damage you get, the more easy enemies you kill with one Q, the faster you trigger the next part. If you want him to be more than just a attack transfer and an energy generator and a healer with a Q, if you can make him hit, and that's what I mean. See, this is like a full DPS build. Only exception is the helmet. HP, and not healing percent. HP. You will have more survivability on your own Bennett, and you will heal more or less the same. That's the only thing I got different than most of people, because most people say, yeah, you can give him HP, and HP, and go. Why? He heals way too much. Bennett heals at the rate of 1 tick per second. He heals a lot, way too much. Why so much healing? Why? You're gonna be running a shield most likely, and if you're running into corrosion, you're not using Bennett. You're using another character that can deal with that, like a Jin, like a Kokomi, a Sayu, whatever. Even a Barbara. If everyone's really low, you hit the Q, and everyone's full again. Then that's off. But for all the intentions and purposes of Bennett, you may as well give him some DPS. And as you have seen, with all the substats and whatnot, he's at the good crit and very good ER. And he just loads the queue very fast, so that's it. Artifact I've shown. Constellation. Never, 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 never in your fucking life. Never, 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 never trigger C6. Never. Okay, that's it. Hey Ari, hello, hello. How are you doing? Sorry about going late on your arrival. Hello, hello. Welcome to the show. And you joined in a very special day because I'm doing the full account review in hype for 2.5. Also, thank you for following. Much appreciated. And what is that the actual problem we face about C6 Bennett? C6 Bennett is horrible because it just outright screws all the combinations that require physical damage. For instance, you kill Eula and Bennett as a team if you trigger this. You get rid of Zhongli's pure damage, for example. You get rid, if you're running him as a DPS, you will actually go into pyro damage and your lands and your goblins are not gonna count, so that's awful. You get limited and you just limit your teams. Never trigger C6 banned. This was a mistake by them. This was a mistake. Never trigger, never C6 banned. And talent wise, you wanna get your Q up to level 10. 13 with constellations. Everything else you can leave this at 2 if you want. You don't care. These are, I just want him to deal a little bit of damage with the E because you're gonna be using the E anyway to load your Q, so that's it. But Bennett is just amazing. It's a Bennett crazy unit. Everyone and her mother should have Bennett and should have it built. It's the most broken character in the game, and I will always say that Bennett has cleared entire Abyss floors by himself. The Fatuis? This guy clears the floor with the Fatuis alone. It didn't for me, it did for Nat, it did for a lot of people. Thank you, Ari. It's much appreciated for you to say that. You've joined in a very special day because today I'm just making a review for my account. I could review other account when I'm done. That for me, that's good. That's all fine and dandy. And as I said before, I wanna get this through. Thank you for subscribing because it's the only way we got to keep growing and to keep trying to be someone in here. You can also, if you wanna, you and everyone, you can follow me on YouTube as well. At Carol the Swordmaster, you got the information over there. With that being said, let's keep going on. Next one in the list, long list, is Ito. He's the man, he's a beast, and he's very fun to play actually. Meanwhile, you got your Q. When you're out of your Q, this character sucks, but big time. And thing is, let's just first show him how he's doing. He's really good. 82 of this is for the weapon, and everything else is artifact wise. All this EM, I don't want it. It's how it ended up. It sucks, but that's how it is. I would like some more ER because he's hurting, really hurting on ER. But you don't control what the artifacts actually drop. But weapon, his own, his best in slot as well. This weapon is really good for him. It's really good for Noel. It's really good for these Claymore users. You could even use it on Diluc because the substat is really crazy. Like they did 0.2 damage is a lot. Constellation, they got C0, as I told you, the only ones which I got with Constellation are Hu Tao and Raiden. And when Kazuha gets here, I'm gonna go straight for him and straight for C1. I don't care. It's late. I was very late to that party. Challenge-wise, Iro is like this 989. Ushi hits for a lot. It's something you don't expect, but it's crazy how strong Ushi hits. If you do the full rotation with some Geo characters, my Ushi has dealt like 80k. Just hit 80,000 damage. There you go. And you see the enemies deleted. It's the scene in mages. If you do the full damage and whatnot, it's crazy because you see the bar just deplete. What? Ushi is crazy. The thing is, you first hit Q and then you use Ushi, unless your energy is starved. If you gotta generate energy, first use Ushi, you get your particles, you do your rotation, and then when you enter Q, you use Ushi, and then this goon hits for like a lot. It's crazy how strong it hits. Also, you wanna raise your Q. If you got a crown, crown these two. If you go with one, you go with both, because there's like no way to not prioritize both. Thing is, if you gotta go first with one, first you do the normal attack, because this multiplier over here is the ones that matter. This one and this one. And this is what scales the hardest. See, this is like a 27% increase on the last hit and a 13% with every hit. Instead of getting like a 5% increase on all your damage with your defense. Okay, I'm not reading the other skills unless it's like really important to the character, which will happen with Ganyu when we get there. But yeah, that's Zero, and I'm quite fine with him. Now I don't have him on field. When I got him on the team, the defense goes up to 250 because of the set. But we're gonna get into that now. Set, flower. The best I could roll. If this was defense percent, I would be even more happy. But 1 crit and 2 crit rate rolls. This is 3 crit values, so that's a good piece. Feather, in love with this much crit rate. It went into defense once. So this was a 3 starter, and the 4th stat was this one. Then it went to crit twice or 3 times, and the last one into defense. Good feather overall. Albedo has the one with the damage, but I don't have an intermediate one. So if I get this one equipped, I get a lot of crit damage, but I lose way too much crit rate, and that's not what we want. This is much better overall. Sand piece. This is the only sand piece I could get with a good stats. This killed me. This 866 just destroyed me. Yeah, I'm actually from Barcelona. I cast in English because I would reach more people in English. But yeah, I'm from Barcelona. As I was saying, some ER, this should have went like one here and one here, and this would be like a really good chance piece. But this was the only one I could roll with double crits, so that's better. This one was the older one I was using. Now it's on Albedo for crit purposes. Helmet, some crit. All of this EM just blows, but it's damage with crit rate and some crit rate on the helmet. Yeah, and also then you're just from up here, because I'm like 200 or max 300 kilometers from France, even less actually. This light is annoying, and sorry about that. I gotta get this fixed, but last thing, the goblet. Defense, a lot of crit damage, some crit rate. DCM sucks, but I don't want to give him another goblet, because this one, for example, this is the one I got in one, but this has attack percent, so it scales better on her than on Iro, and this has more crit damage than the other one, so yeah. Ito, really good, really strong, pretty good, pretty good. C0 and talents I've already shown. Next, Albedo. This gentleman, a lot of defense, a lot of stuff. This guy is quite good off field for long battles. If you don't meet these conditions, this character is not as good as many people hype him to be. Especially in my case, because this girl is a thing, and it's actually a beast of a thing. This girl's crazy, but we'll get there eventually. So if you want to burst someone down, you use Ning 1. And if you want permanent geo application, you use Ning 1. Not Albedo, not Ito. For the new boss, the Dragon Ghost, or not the Dragon Ghost, the boss you need for Ito, Ning 1 is the only viable character to apply geo fast enough to break the wolf's heads. And I found much more success with her than without any other character in that specific boss. Thing about Albedo, he's good. He's really good with Yoimiya, Shinto, Fischl, everyone that can trigger off no-field reactions. He's really, really good. For me, he's like this, with his best in slot, bar none, this is how it is. Only pity about this weapon is that you don't get any kind of crit, neither rate nor damage, and it's kind of iffy. But you get so much damage from these passive and from defense, it's actually stupid. This has brought me to actually hold up. Yeah, I was waiting for this. Live! And it's this. No, this is not. Thing is, I've raised Albedo after the weapon got here, because now this is something, and as long as you got like some decent stats, this is not the best stats, I know, but as long as he crits some time, it's like a good amount of damage. I think it's like 18k damage just for landing an E and swapping around. Also, his Q gives EM to everyone, which is also good. Thanks to this talent. Yeah. What else? Stat-wise, 20, almost 2600 defense. This is how he sits. He needs more ER, but Albedo is not a character you use alone. So he just, besides he gets a lot of energy from the off-field damages that you can proc with it. So not bad, not the best, but it's a decent character with a niche application. C0 as per usual, and the artifacts, these are not the best, I know, but you got some ER, some crit. This feather is really good. I'm not gonna lie. These are like 3 crit damage rolls. The sand piece with crit and some defense, which always helps. All the geo goblets I have are kind of good slash crazy. Defense is really decent here. One roll, one of each. Quite the standard roll for it. And this is what you need, kinda, if you want him to at least deal some damage, because if you don't give him a crit rate helmet, he's not gonna have a lot of crit. You would have to have like 10 plus crit rate on every single piece, and that would not be easy. This is one of my Zhongli, you can erase these 8 additional crit, and then you'll see that the artifacts give you actually like close to 50. Can I do stuff properly, please? Yeah, 51%. See? This is because a lot of his artifacts have 10 or more crit rate. Like, the flower, it doesn't, but the feather has, the sand piece does, the goblet does, and the helmet does. You know, if this means just by the artifacts you get close to 60 plus 5% for every single character. Every single character has a 5% probability by himself, just as a base. And this light is annoying me, but whatever. Back to Albedo, and I pretty much showed everything about him. So I'll be moving on to the next character. Some ER, some crit damage. This is a low roll, but that's how it is. One additional here because screw me, I guess. And 16 defense, which is decent for Albedo. So yeah. Talents I showed you earlier, but that's how they are. And let's move on to the next. Good job. Okay, Steven, enjoy your dinner. Thanks for showing up. Xiao, now I'm very happy with him. And I don't know how people get way more damage unless they run Homa. But I'm not running Homa. Finally have the Jade. And this is his best in slot. Talents are 969. If you got a crown these two. This you can leave at 8 because this is only damage. And unless you got like C6 Xiao, this you don't care. You just generate particles. Even if you have like even if you got C1, you will only generate more particles. That's it. It's not up to C6, then you can just spam this skill that you care about the talent level. So this is how it sits. Stat wise, I showed you. This is, I think, the best it's gonna be for him. I don't think it's gonna be better. The only thing I could do is swap for the staff of Homa, but I don't want to do that because first of all it's for Hutao, and this weapon actually kind of hits not harder, but it's quite on par, and I have way more crit rate, and it goes and it keeps hitting harder and harder and harder every time. So that's his best in class for a reason. Artifacts wise, I'm gonna say this guy has some crazy artifacts right from the get go. Yeah, this was what you see basically. Not gonna try and cover it up. That's how it is. Yeah, this is the helmet is the off piece, but with the new spear, he's got so much crit rate that I could actually skip crit rate on the goblet and just give him crit damage. I got another one, but it has less crit, and I may as well use the one which is from his set, and then this is the helmet, and this is crazy in every single sense of the word. Has some crit, has additional attack percent, and has 2 rolls on crit on ER. Sorry. And I just rolled into this, and it was just nuts. As soon as I got it, I said, "Yeah, this is something." I don't know if I got any crazier ones actually. Since this is offset, I could give him like anything I wanted to. There's some good here and there. This is awful. Why I'm looking for this? Whatever. The thing is, this is good. This is how I like it, especially with this Magiar, which is his Crocs. And I don't know how to get more damage out of this guy. I think this is gonna be how he stays. Like this, forever. Yeah, that goblet is actually one of my favorites. Because the other one I had just went into HP and HP and only one minor little roll on crit and one little roll on the other crit. But this one is decent. This one's really good. What else? Up to Venti. Venti, I don't care pretty much about these stats. The only stats I care are this ER, excuse me, and the EM over here. However, he's not running an EM goblet, he's running an ammo damage goblet, because the Q triggers way too many times for it to be the other way around. So you want an ammo damage, and this will trigger on swirl reaction, so yeah, just go with an ammo. I could, if I wanted him to DPS, but there's not much use into it because this passive is really good and the M you get is also really good. You could run him in like, I don't know, Skyward Spine, because the substats that it gives you are really good. But unless you got the elegy of the end, the Stringless is his best in slot. I would like to have the elegy of the end, but nah. Artifacts, these are just leftovers from other characters, and this is how it is. I want ER and EM, but for example, this doesn't have it. This one has, but it's on sucrose for a reason, so let's leave it at that. No, I'm not doing what I need to do. Okay. Some crit rate, some crit damage, the other two. See, EM, but all of this is for sucrose and for Kazuha when he gets here, because as soon as Kazuha gets here, we're gonna dig a grave for sucrose and let her rest there in peace. What else? Did I show everything? Let's just redo this. Sound speed is EM with ER. Attack percent is always good. Animal damage, some EM, and some crit. And this helmet, I might be able to use another one, but this has EM, and this does not. This has attack percent. Maybe this one will go. I don't know. I just got two of them, and one has EM and the other one doesn't. So EM it is. Jean is one of my mixed opinion characters. I just use her as a healer and as a swirler because I'm not running her on Too Glad to Verdescent. I run for Verdescent because this set is just broken. That's how it is. Some crit here and there, a lot of ER and good EM. This might actually go into Kazuha because this flower is decent. A mediocre glove, feather, excuse me, but it has ER, so I'm just rolling with it. Attack percent, because the more attacks she's got, the more she heals, and the more she hits as well, especially with the E. Then we'll say more on that into constellations, but some crit, some ER, which is always good. Helmet wise, attack percent, this is by design. Is another character like Bennett that doesn't have crit rate and crit damage as a priority on the helmet. And yeah, it went defense sometimes, whatever, I don't care. Some crit rate, some crit damage. If this had EM, I wouldn't care. ER, I would, because the more Qs you got, the better. And constellations, now she's sitting at C2. This one makes you deal 40% additional damage when you hold E for over a second, and you got a sound Q for it, so it's decent. And this is the one I got, the last one I got. It's actually on stream because I just made the day I was pulling for Shanha. The first pull was a temple, and it was Jin, the C2. The other temple was Yunjin, and the third 10 pull was Shanha, and that was freaking crazy actually. And let's go. Then this is not actually really good, but you know. What else do we got? Her stats look like this. I just want her to have ER as much as possible. We got some healing bonus. I don't know from what, but you know, weapon, the Skyward Blade as well. As I think every character that could use ER should you be using this sword. Don't use it on Ayaka though. Don't be that person. Yeah, really good. ER, more Qs, more healing, more damage. Talents, depending on what you want to do, you can raise, but you should raise these at least to 8 or 9. I'm just way too lazy to farm this shit, and I could do it like right now. And good thing I look because I'm almost capped on resin. Let me just go to the teapot and concentrate one resin. I'm mid review, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Now after I'm done, I'll just do the dailies and do everything. I'm not gonna teleport back to Economia, but I'll just end the review from here, from the teapot. We were on Venti. Some EM, some good amount of ER. He's just a Q-bot. You just max this out and you leave this at 6 because it does damage, so that's good. And that's most of it. Could we get silent for a while? Okay. I was a Jean actually. I did not talk about Benti. I'm just getting everything mixed up. Sorry about that. I talked about Benti, but I didn't show you the talents. C0 as per usual, and the artifacts I've already shown. So let's move on to the next one, which was Jean, and I was here at Constellations. And then these are talents. If you get this to level 9, it's good. I don't think it's worth crowning, but if you just love Jean, you do you. Shenhe, my latest unit. 42.3 and 30.7. This I don't care. If I cared, I would give her this. And then she's a functional and working character. Thing is, I want her to have as much attack percent as possible. Sorry. Hold up, I'm getting some messages. I'm gonna deal with that later. Shenhe. Attack. It's all you care. Attack percent. And thing is, why? Because this scales with your attack and not your base attack. Your full attack. Artifacts, weapon, everything. You can give her as much attack as you can, and that's why she sits at this big as number, and she doesn't have that much crit rate and damage overall. Talents, which I was there already. You can crown this, which will transfer the maximum attack percent to the next character. By the way, this attack percent also counts things like Bennett buff, which is even more crazy. Now you can do your rotations like Shenhe, E, Kazuha or Sucrose if you have them. Swirl it, Bennett, QE, go to Ganyu or Ayaka or Tartaglia, nuke, and then you're gonna get all the damage. I said Tartaglia, not Shenhe and Tartaglia. I just mean a DPS that has an elemental application and damage. Thing is, back to Shenhe. Her Q is not worth crowning, in my opinion. Just an additional 1%. The damage is not what it's here. It's more for keep cryo applied, or keep in cryo applied. And that's it. This is a massive buff to all cryo overall, which is some of the next characters. Stats I've already shown. The weapons, the Calamity Quarter. This was crazy because I was just wishing and wishing and wishing every single day up until the point I picked it up. That's the 2.5 or no, the 2.4 live stream, which is also on YouTube. You can go check that out. That day I pulled Shenhe, I put C1, C2 actually, Jin. I've pulled the Xia weapon, and then with all I had left, I put it in just in case the spear came home. It didn't, but the following days I just kept going and going and going. And it ended up showing up, so that's really good. C0 Shenhe and talents I've already shown. Pretty happy with all this attack, that's a fact. And with that being said, let's move on to Eula. Eula sits at this stats. I could have more crit damage because her sand speed is not the best, but it has crit rate. And I've been struggling with crit rate because this was the older one I was using, and this is awful. And I managed to swap into this one that at least went into crit rate sometimes. Besides that, everything else is really good, or at least decent. While we got Raiden on the background annoying. Crit rate, attack percent, crit damage, this is all really good stuff. I'm missing crit damage in here. If this flat attack was crit damage with all the rolls, it should be like close to 20. And this would be done and Eula would be a monster. Helmet, this is quite the helmet actually, not gonna lie. 21 crit damage and 31 crit rate, it's really good. And the goblet is physical damage, of course. Crit damage and crit rate, 1 roll of each. You cannot ask for many more stuff. And the weapon is, of course, the Song of Broken Pines, which changed Eula big time. She deals way more damage with the Broken Pines. Prior to that, I was using the one of the Battle Pass, Refinement 5, and I just swapped the weapon. I swapped the helmet for the new one, and that was it. It was really decent, and Eula now hits like a truck. Eula is awesome with Raiden. That's one of your great teams, Eula Raiden. They synergize way too good with each other, just ignore. Artifacts I've already shown you because we begin talking about the sand piece, C0, and talents 8, 8, 10, of course 10. You max this. This is what makes Eula insane. Just to short it up, when you hit the Q, first of all, you get your you get your E back, so you can use your E, use your Q, use your E again, and then the next you wait 3 seconds, and then you use the long E, the one that you hold. Then you're lowering the resistance of the enemies, and then is when the second part of your Q drops down, and thus this plus all the attacks you've done multiplied by this number. If you do everything perfect, you will get a lot of damage. I think my top damage is like 410k. I could show you in the achievement, but it's something like that. It's over 400,000 damage with her dropping the Q. It's quite crazy. Eula's just broken, and as soon as I get more crit damage on the sand piece, it's gonna be more broken. But that's Eula in a nutshell. Really happy with this character. Really happy. Let's keep going with my favorite, my grandmama, my crown, my cream of the crop, my jewel, little Ganya. And she's missing crits like a beast since I changed the bow. Thing is, she looks like this. A lot of attack, over 2k attack. This crit rate is decent because you get crit rates from so many sources that it ends up being decent. But she's missing crits here and there, and that annoys the crap out of me, especially the ones you don't have cryo applied already. Say you want to melt a Bennett E, you gotta consider the first arrow is gonna be this 44.7%. That's it. The second arrow is gonna have more percent, more crit percent, because after using the first arrow, the next one got an additional 20%. But that's weird because then you would have to like miss or shoot previously or do something like that, and then the next 5 seconds those arrows will have an additional 20% crit rate, which is what makes this character good, especially with the not this set that I'm running, the other one, the Wanderer's Troop, or even Shimenawa. I don't like Shimenawa though, because you're losing your Q and you're losing energy on a character that kinda doesn't has it easy to reload her Q, because it's kinda cheap, but from this 60, if you use Shimenawa you lose like 15, and then you just gotta charge it again with the E, and maybe you don't have it, and unless you have C2 that you have to charge us, then maybe, but at the same time I think you're better off just using Blizzard Strayer, not only for the cryo bonus, which has become relevant since Shenhe is here, because with Shenhe you will boost attack, but at the same time you will be getting more benefit about the cryo damage, because the Q also gives cryo damage. So the more stacks you get on cryo damage, it's gonna be better eventually than just that flat attack percent, for example. Because at the damage equation, the last part of the equation is the elemental damage one. So if you manage to get the first numbers of the equation, the bigger the better, of course. But if the last one, which is the bigger multiplier, is also really big, then you're cooking. Then you will be facing big numbers, and then that's when the magic happens. Also, this is also important because when you spread an element, you will end up doing more damage of that same element. Therefore, the cryo bonuses will be higher. That's why you wanna run cryo damage instead of flat attack. Flat attack you just need for Shenhe and for characters that don't wanna use 4 pieces of some set. For example, Xiao, you want him to do attack percent and an ammo damage because he's a DPS. That's most of it. But in Ganyo's case, you will be decent against not against when you gotta melt, but when you got cryo blight, it's already a breeze, and you will be getting tons of damage, especially when you pair her with Shenhe. These two go hand in hand most likely. I mean, most of the times. That's it. And then it gets crazy, and I don't have Kazuha. If I had Kazuha, I would be dealing thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands of damage just with a single arrow. I think the maximum damage I've done with Ganyu, Shenhe, Sucrose, and Bennett with this combo. The first arrow, when it crit, it did 150k, and the second arrow did 2, 1, 0, and 3 zeros. I don't even know how to pronounce the number because I'm not English. 12, 21, 210 1000 damage, which is a lot of damage. The second arrow, the first one, 150k. A lot of stuff, and my brain hurts. Okay, she's just crazy. Ganju's just not. Bow, Amos, level 90. This is, I think it's the last weapon I got. And back then I was using the Skyward. Skyward. And with Amos Bow, this character has changed. Like, it's a monster now, and back then was good, now it's crazy. Especially with Shenhe. For Business Trader, very, very proud of this set. This set is really good. Sorry. This could not have went any better because this was 3 stats, and one was the one that came off was crit, 1 crit damage, and everything else went into crit. So this is basically the perfect artifact. The only thing I would like is like ER and attack percent instead of what it is, but I'm not just gonna go and grind it again just to find a better sub stat. It's not happening. The Sunspeed is really good. Quite love this one. Once I got this one, I was like so happy, so hyped. And Ayaka has a similar one, even with a little bit more crit rate, but it's okay as it is, because else Ayaka would have critical problems, but more once we get to her. C0, and talents is of course 1089. But I think I did not show every artifact. I ended on the sand piece. Helmet is like this, crit rate. I think I got one with more crit rate and some crit damage. And these ones are the ones they are. In every situation, maybe I need Ayaka to have some additional crit rate for whatever reason. I just give her this one, but as it is, like this is how it's gonna stay. Crit rate, EM, whatever. And the goblet is also really good. Attack percent, it went into attack here once here, and 3 times here. 1, 1, 3. I'm in love with this goblet. When I rolled into it, it was crazy nuts. And this is Helmet Devoration. And these are the talents. This is my queen, and idiot of me, I almost didn't get her. I almost didn't. And that would have been the biggest mistake of my life, actually. I rolled into this girl into, like, the 2 last days of her banner or something like that, and then thank God I did, because she's broken, like every single aspect. Why is she broken? She's broken because of this. You see these 2 numbers over here, especially this one. This is like having a deluxe Q on cooldown on arrow. You hit and you do a deluxe Q. You hit deluxe Q. You hit deluxe Q. It's quite stupid. Cryo, not pyro, but this is the kind of multiplier we're dealing with. And yeah, once you get her at a lot of the attack and whatnot, the numbers just get crazy. I think her normal arrow is like 20 some K and 40K a single arrow. What? Okay, back to the next monster on this show. Groyaka. She's sitting at this. She was sitting at 60, but I had to transfer that helmet to Ganya, because when I lost the bow that gave me 22% crit rate, I just had to give her more crit rate. Even so, since she's running with Cryo, set, Blizzard Strayer, then she's never having crit rate issues. Never. And also, she applies so much Cryo that you don't care about if there's another reaction in the middle. You will get crits and you will get Cryo obligations, which will give you 20% additional crit for the set. and then she's sitting at 74% crit rate as a standard. Also, she applies cryo like no other character. I want to do. I'm gonna do guides on every character down the line, but Ayaka is especially good at shield shredding. It's really good at shield shredding. Her application of cryo has almost no ICD, and that makes her really crazy and really busted. Also, her Q hits for a truck. This number over here goes times 19, and this is the 20th hit. It's expensive, okay, but this burst eats bosses like it's no one's business. The pyro hypostasis on Inazuma, as long as you get him on the ground, Ayaka's Q eats it whole. The boss, do you see the full bar? Down, dead, gone, you know? It's actually quite stupid. What's stupid is Raiden not shutting the F up. I don't want Osmanthus wine. I should actually go back to Nkami. I'm tired of hearing all of these gentlemen and ladies and whatnot. Let me go back to Nkami, where I reached AR59. And let's continue with this account review. Okay, thank you. Much better. And now I can actually do this and this, and I'm not gonna be hearing her annoying. We were on Ayaka. This is how she sits. Some ER, a lot of damage thanks to this lovely weapon. I got another one, waiting for Kashin to drop a proper helmet. And we'll get into that next actually. And best is allowed for her. All of the effect goes into her kit, and she deals way too much damage to be ignored. Artifacts wise, a lot of crit rate. All of her pieces have a lot of crit rate. I rolled into a crit rate a lot of times. Sans piece even. This is a really good sound piece. This is the goblet. You don't see any crit damage. All crit rate. And yeah, this is the helmet that I was talking about. If I need more crit rate on her, I will swap for this one, and then I'll have 60, which plus the set of the Blizzard Strayer is 80, and that's a lot of crit rate. C0, as it is, and talents 10, 9, 10. I don't regret this at all, especially now that Shanha is here. With Shanha, these attacks become kinda crazy. Kinda crazy. What else? Quite happy with this character. I skipped Kazuha for Ayaka. I just saved all the primos from the 1.5 or 1.6 update. I wanted Ayaka. If I knew it, I would have pulled for both. And when Kazuha gets here, I'm gonna get Kazuha for my freaking soul. If I have to, I don't care. Okay. Ayaka. Now, this girl. What do I do with you, girl? Because this sucks. But the next banner, the 1.5 banner, is gonna have her best in cloud in the Jade Cutter. Thing is, I got one of these additional ones, spare ones. So I would like to use this one on her. However, I'm on a dilemma with this. This helmet's really good, but I need one of these. Not with these trash stats, because this is trash, but with crit damage, attack percent, whatnot, but this is not good enough. Therefore, I'm kind of forced to run this one. I know the substats are crap, but 12 crit rate is really good. So now she sits at like this. Stat wise, this is decent, especially the crit rate. But I want more crit damage, which will come from the weapon that's here waiting for her. But I need to drop the helmet. Until I don't drop the helmet, I won't have enough crit rate to swap this out and get her the proper weapon. That's it. So the other thing I could do is just give her a Jade color when or if I drop it, if I pull it out, and then I would consider her done because then she would have more attack and she would hit harder overall. But I'm in a crossroads with her, quite the crossroads. I've been in this crossroads for a while now, but we got some improvements here and there. For example, this flower I dropped not long ago, and this flower is crazy, like freaking crazy. This feather is also decent. The Sans piece, it's good, not gonna complain. Goblet, this is what I could improve on because 2 defenses is awful, and this only has 1 crit roll. This is good because it has double crits, but this is not good substat rolls. So until I find more crit rate on this new goblet I gotta drop, I'm not going back to get the good helmet. I'm tired of that electro domain. I'm so done with it. Since Kishin is not like my main electro character, and won't be, because if I'm skipping Yaemiko because I got Raiden, Kishin is just out of the deal. The only fear I got with Yaemiko about skipping her is that the fact that maybe in 2.6 or 2.7 we're getting a new artifact domain which will boost superconduct damage by like 100% or some good stuff like that. Therefore, Cryo with Electro will deal additional damage, and that's the only thing that kind of scares me. But if that's the case, Raiden is also good, and if I didn't have DC2, I would pull for Yaemiko, but I'm not gonna because I got Raiden, and that's it. Back to Kishin, because all of this came from Kishin being good or not. With these stats, I'm not getting this girl nowhere. She's got way too much defense. The substats, most of them are defense. I want more attack percent. I want a good helmet. She's quite decently invested, C3, because she just keeps coming when the 50-50s fail. So I think that's my highest constellation character. Talents 8, 6, and this was 8 before I got the C3, and now this might deal some damage. Kishin, the problem I got with her is that all her damage is unlocked by Kazuha. So until I get Kazuha, Kishin is just out of the deal of the question, how you want to say it. Done with that, let's move on to one of my favorite characters actually. And it's a pity because he's gonna get like overrun by Kamisato Ayato. I know that's how it's gonna go. But we need more Hydro characters. I think we got like 5 Hydro characters. Xingqiu, Barbara, which is not a thing, Kokomi, Tertalia, and I said Shinto already, maybe. Mona, that's the other one. And now we're gonna get Ayato, and Ayato I think it's gonna be good. I don't know anything about Ayato, we just know it's gonna get here. I don't know when, maybe 2.7, we'll see. But back to Tertalia, until Ayato gets here, he's still the best Hydro user on the game. Mona is good for bursts and damages and whatnot. Xingqiu is really great on off-field damage. But DPS-wise, this is the guy right now. I didn't need to pull this bow, I just wanted it, and it needs more damage than the Skyward Harp. There's a lot of good bows for Tartaglia. Actually, I think almost all of them are really good. Thundering Pulse is good for him. This is his best in slot by definition. Uh, I don't recommend the Amos, but you can use the Skyward Harp. It's really good on him actually. But this is his best in slot for a reason. Stats wise, sitting at this, I cannot get more crit damage. Now I'll show you why, but I just cannot get additional crit damage from anywhere. Now you'll see why. Crit rate 77. ER, he's got some. It's not that his Q is the most important stuff of his set, especially at C0. C6 is another story. But I love. Tartaglia was my first banner character, and I've always been quite fond of him. And that's why I was a Tartaglia main back in the day. And now he's getting out, and it's pity. But I'm quite happy with him, and he will always have a use with some teams that you can always run with. You can always run him with Jalin, for example, which we'll get there. But back to him. I'll just love the set. This is maybe the best pieces I got for anyone. It's kind of crazy actually. See, freaking 30, and everything is like attack percent ER, attack percent ER, crit. It's kind of nuts. See, 13 crit. This could have went into damage, yeah. But the only way I got additional crit damage onto him is for me to roll another Sans piece with double crit, and rolling at least once or twice on crit, and everything else going to crit damage. It's the only way I got to improve this character. That's it. Everything else is quite crazy. Actually, I could give him even more crit damage because I got two pieces with crit damage and crit rate as a substat, but I'm giving him this one because I got way too much crit rate with the weapon, and this has ER and EM, and this is overall more useful than this one, which is like just the crit rate. Everything else is not worth it. The goblet, this is what was left. The big pity is two rolls in here. It could have been like one here and one here, and then this goblet would be even more crazy. But we got some goblets here and there. Also, I got like spare goblets. This is not Tartaglia related. I got spare goblets. See, check this. This is empty. No one's using this. If I could give it to Shenhe, I could give her a crit helmet and this, and then she would be a DPS. But there's no need. She needs attack percent. So yeah, I got some pieces that are quite crazy, just laying around, doing nothing. See? Okay. Whatever. Back to Tartaglia. Quite happy with him, and he will always be one of my favorites. C0. I almost got C1, almost, because when he got rerun, I pulled for the banner because I think there was an one into his banner, and I wanted her C6. And I went to beat it, but I actually failed the 50-50 and got Diluc, which we're gonna get eventually. I'm gonna skip Diluc actually because he's got like nothing. When I pulled Yoimiya, Diluc went haywire. But back to Tartaglia, C0, talents. This is for his passive. This. You can crown the E. If you want the massive nuke damage, you can crown the Q. I don't have it crowned. I don't think I will though, because it's damage from a character that's gonna be replaced. However, his E is always worth it because it's your bread and butter. It's what it's gonna give you the damage. What's gonna give you the activations of everything, of the Riptide and whatnot. He activates the Riptide when he crits, so the more crit rate you have on him, the better. And every time you trigger a Riptide, you're gonna generate energy. That's how Tutalia works and works around his energy generation problems. So everything goes through your E. I made the mistake of raising this to level 6. You don't need to raise this because the only time you would want this at all would be for triggering Riptides from afar with a bow, and that's not Tartalia's style. However, not gonna complain about him. I just like him a lot. Okay, on to Yoimiya. This house she sits right now. She's got very little ER, but her Q is not like the most meaningful skill ever. Her normal attack is what's really good, and I could raise this actually, and I think I was saving this to raise for the battle pass. So yeah, when I get the money, I'll get the battle pass EXP of the 500,000 Mora every week for this because this is almost it. Don't raise the Q further though. There's no need. There's a slight increase on damage and a slight increase on damage. What no one tells you though is that this skill is really good against shields. Like really good against shields. It blows away slime shields, the cryo base mage's shields, it burns it away. It's really good when you're effective against the element. She deals more damage. The more you use the normal attacks when you're under her E, you will get more stacks of this, which will give you additional damage to other characters after you trigger the Q. When you use the Q and swap, the next character is gonna have additional attack, which is good. Talent I've already shown. The weapon is the Thundering Pulse, her best in slot, and it's really good for normal attacks. And since she is like normal attack, that's how she rolls. You wanna most likely use normal attacks with her. When you're full energy, you don't gotta be full energy, so you wanna use her Q as much as possible. But you wanna like use Yoimiya, use the E, get the Q while you're attacking, and then use the Q and then swap for the cooldown. That's the mechanic of Yoimiya. She's really good. People say, oh, Yoimiya, whatever. Yoimiya is really good. You can pair her with Fischl, you can pair her with Raiden, and her lack of AoE gets solved instantly because Overload is AoE and it's additional damage overall. So Yoimiya is actually really good, and actually she also combines pretty good with Ayaka because Ayaka's Q applies so much cryo than when you swap into Yoimiya and you use the E and you begin shooting, you're gonna get a lot of damage because every single arrow is gonna melt. Yoimiya suffers from other kind of internal cooldown problems, but that's just for example, the first two attacks of her, normal attack. See, first arrow is a number times 2. Sorry, the first arrow will trigger like melts and other internal reactions, but the second arrow will not, for example, lower any HP on any shield because her internal cooldown is very long. With Ayaka, they almost had no ICD, and with Yoimiya, they went way too long with the ICD. This only gets kinda sorted off by her C6 because you every time you hit E you hit E and then you normal attack, you got 50% to shoot another arrow, and that second arrow is calculated independently and besides all the ICDs, so you trigger a new ICD, and that's how you get kind of around with her pyro application ICD problems. But no one had, not many people got C6, and we're not gonna, so not for us. She's really good against enemies that have all the time cryo blight from like slimes or like the boss on the cryo cube on round time. There we go. What else? What else? Yeah, Mia's done, and she's really good actually. Diluc I'm gonna skip because everything from Diluc went into either Hutao or Yoimiya, so Diluc is just a dead unit. I'm not using Diluc at all. I even have his best in slot weapon because they keep coming with the missing 50-50s. But this is not a mistake. This was like failed the 50-15. This came home, and tags you see 666. I haven't raised him further than that because Hudao is outright better. Has better pyro application, has less problems with the ICD, doesn't have a Q that throws enemies away because Diluc is just stupid by the looks of it. He's a good DPS, he is cool, he's a very cool character. Did I want Diluc instead of Jin because Jin was my actually first 5-star? Yeah, of course I wanted Diluc, but as soon as I got some other better characters, Diluc is just not as good as you see him being at the beginning of the game. So we're skipping him, and now we're moving on to Ningguang. I scratched on her earlier fast, but Ningguang is one of my favorite characters, hands down. Before I had Tertalia and other DPS characters, Ningguang carried me through all the early parts of Genshin. As soon as you get this leveled up, the E is gonna do a lot of damage and clear a lot of enemies really good and really fast, especially when you get C2, but we'll get into that later. Talent wise, I've even crowned her normal attack because these multipliers over here are the ones that you care about for the dealing damage with after you use one normal attack and then the charge attack. The charge attack damage comes from this skill, so that's what you want to raise as much as possible. Even more, especially all this jade damage, these jades are counted for these jades. So when you get her C6, you want to maximize the damage of these jades by maximizing the talent, which will need you more damage. Of course, you want to somewhat have good levels on all skills. This is 8, 8, 10. This does a lot of damage, and actually the barrier is useful when you gotta protect like monoliths from arrows and other projectiles. You don't care about the HP of the screen. When it breaks, your second constellation gives you another one. And this will be useful down the line because the new catalyst is gonna be here, and it's gonna be best in slot for Ningguang only if you got C2. Because 16 times 2 is 12, which is under than 16 seconds. And that's all you need to trigger the full power of the new catalyst, which is gonna have crit damage, and that's gonna be good. But yeah, Ningguang is a character that changes a lot with C1, C2, especially C2. C4 is trash, C3 is decent, C5 is decent, and C6 is great, because C6 is you got another ultimate, basically. What else? Stats. She's sitting at this, and it's really good, actually. I could squeeze some more crit damage if I middle with the goblets around, but she's just one of my favorite characters. The weapon, uh, Lost Prayers and Sacred Winds, crit rate, and as long as she stays on the field for 4 seconds, you're already getting some bonuses, and you will get at least 4 seconds with her, because to make the maximum damage with her, you gotta get in, do a normal attack, especially if you got the Battle Pass weapon. But more on that on the Ning1 guide I got pending, which will be here on YouTube down the line. Ning1's really good with this catalyst, not only because of the crit rate, but to do your full rotation of damage, you gotta use the screen, because going through the screen gives you 12% geo damage. So all this time that you normal attack and then do the jade screen and then go through, that's at least kind of 4 seconds. Then you use the Q, and then you gotta get another screen, because when you use the Q, your screen becomes a pillar, and that pillar also throws jades to the enemy. And then you cast the next screen and go through, and then you use the Q, or the normal turtle attack after you use the Q. But enough of Ning1's damage rotation, because this video is actually taking quite long. Ning1, really good, really awesome unit. One of my favorites. Artifacts wise, let's go and do this kind of fast. Flower. Attack percent, some crit damage. This feather is good. Sorry about that, I'm just... what the heck. Hold on. Oh. Okay, next. Feather is one round attack, some crit rate, and a lot of crit damage. This was the best Sans piece I could find. 2 rolls on defense, whatever. 1 crit rate and 2 crit damages. Most likely this is gonna stay like this forever. This helmet, crit rate, a little bit of crit damage, but since it's got the book, it's all fine and dandy, it's more than enough. I like this 21.6 attack percent a lot. This HP% sucks because it's 2 rolls that could have one here and one here, but it's really good, and she's sitting at a very good stat. This might change if I get the new catalyst, and then I will have to find a hat for her with crit rate, which I have actually, but it's not good. See, because it's only like 11 some crit damage, and I don't know if that's good enough. So we'll see. And since these are gladiator helmets, unless I can find a Shimenawa full piece, like I don't know, what is it? Like if I can find a full set like this, additional, I would swap it, because I got a very good Shimenawa helmet that would work for her. But we gotta get the catalyst first, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, since this is a gun review for right now. So yeah, Ning1, really good, really awesome character. Sucrose, C6. All my 4-star characters are C6. Well, this is C5, except Goro, because he's the one I didn't roll. But even Kujosara, this was like really crazy. But yeah, back to Sucrose. Sucrose, you only care about EM and ER. If you get attack percent, perfect, but as a substat. But basically you want EM, a lot of EM. ER as much as you can, but Sucrose is really good generating particles because her E, you can trigger it twice with the first constellation. Yeah. And her weapon is the sacrificial fragments. Besides giving you more EM, you got an 80% of resetting your E, meaning you will use your E once, twice, and 3 times. And since the cooldown on this skill is 15 seconds, you only gotta wait 1 second, which is almost nothing, to trigger this, to be able to trigger this skill again. So in 16 seconds, you will have 5 E's, and that's a Q. Energy-wise, it's a Q. Maybe with 3 E's, you would have a Q already, unless you're like at 0. And her Q is very expensive, but she just generates so much energy, it's quite astounding. Also, Sucrose is like a budget Kazuha, especially with these passives. You will give EM to other characters. Meanwhile, Benty's passive will give. What was it? Come on. What was it? I think Benty gave. Additional elemental damage of the element he swirls, but that's not even close to what Kazuha does, because Kazuha does also transfer additional damage. I don't have him, and I know how crazy he is because he transfers elemental bonus damage in base of his EM. But when we get him, we'll get him. Let's go back to Sucrose because we've almost been streaming for like 2 hours now with this account review. Let's keep going. See, some ER and as much EM as possible. Artifacts wise, she sits at, come on, ER, EM as much as possible. AR and EM as much as possible. EM as a main stat and some ER. EM as a main stat and some ER. And EM as a main stat and some ER. That's it. This attack percent is also decent. But you want EM, and at all her pieces, including the weapon. That's basically Sucrose in a nutshell. EM Queen. Next character. One of my favorites, actually. Diona is amazing. Is on par with Bennett of 4-star characters that are broken AF. You want as much ER on her as possible for the Qs, and she's quite a good battery with her elemental skills. You can use this twice thanks to her sacrificial bow, and this gives you a lot of energy, especially running her with Ayaka or Ganyu. Those two can use a lot of her energy. You can funnel particles to them, but it's just decent, and I feel like she's always got her Q on time. It's really neat. Talent wise, I raised the shield to level 8. You can go for more, and you will have eventually more shield HP, and her shield will be better. But depending on how you run her, she is kind of like Zhongli. You don't need that much shielding. Also, you have 2 E's, so if you fear that your shield's gonna break, you can just hold E, swap into characters, do your damage, and when your shield goes out, go back into Iona and you'll have another E to shield up again. Normally you use E twice just to generate as much energy as possible. That you just gotta manage all your resources, all that you can achieve with the skills that your characters have. So you wanna use the skills as better as possible for every situation. You don't need to raise her normal attack. You can go for 9 and 9, which would be 12 and 12 with constellations. And artifacts wise, I run her with 2 maidens and 2 tenacity because she gets better shields with more HP, and you don't want to use 4-piece tenacity nor 4-piece maidens, nor 4-piece ocean, the new one. That's not good for her as well. I don't know why is this like this. I was wondering what the F was going on. This is her. There we go. Now we're cooking 30k HP. Now this is what it should be. More HP, more shields, more healing, more everything. Her artifacts, I don't quite care, but you know, as much ER and crit rate as possible. A lot of ER, which is always good. If you have HP, you can give her HP. Go ahead. See, HP percent on the goblet, and HP percent on the time and the hat. ER, EM, I don't care about the EM. This one is actually only here for the crit rate, and maybe the attack percent. You can make an argument, but this one is HP, some crits, and even more HP in here. So yeah, Diana is just a good support. She's sitting at 160 some energy regeneration, but she's good as it is, and I'm very happy with her. Next support character is Shinto. Shinto is a good DPS. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the artifacts later, but this is kind of crazy. And you don't need much more crit rate on him actually, because how his Q works. His Q works that you will deal 3 damages, then 2 damages, and then 5 damages. Instances of damage with the Q active every time you do attacks with him. And what he basically needs is energy recharge. I'm at a point with this much ER. You hit the E twice because he runs Sacrificial Sword. Now I'm gonna show it. And you get your entire Q back with just 2 hits of your E. It's at this point is not. You just use your E twice, and if you got no energy, E, and he's full of energy. And Q, and go ahead, and keep the rotations going, and whatnot. But you don't, since his Q, this gives you a good amount of hits. It doesn't display here, but it's 3 hits, 2 hits, and 5 hits. Since you're hitting so many times with him, some of these hits are bound to crit, and that's why you don't need so many, because you're not like shooting 1 arrow at a time. Then you need to know that arrow is gonna crit for sure. Here you are buying a lot of instances of damage, and one of them is gonna crit, at least one or more even. And then when you get this good crit number, and you'll be getting crit value out of this. Also, his E is a double hit as well, and you got it ×2, so that's another source of damage. Artifacts wise, I'm running him with 2 Hydro and 2 Emblem of Severed Fate, or Destiny set, or whatever. 20 ER is really good. I had problems with him and the energy regeneration, and since I got him these 2 pieces, it's like not an issue anymore. Some crit. Yeah, I just wanted crit damage on him because crit rate. First of all, I don't have a good one besides the one on Raiden. And as I said, there's like not a lot of need for more crit rate on him, so I'm fine with that. Other 2 pieces are insane, actually. These are the ones Tartaglia was using before running these ones, of course, and they are nuts as well, so I'm fine with it. ER with crit rate, which is good. If it had crit damage, even better, but whatever. This I've shown you already, and the Hydro Goblet is this one. That's how it is, double crit, I'm happy with it. And that should be it, C6, as all the other characters. 1, 8, 9, and that's it for Shinto. Really good with Hutao, really good with Ayaka, with Permafreeze. It's really good, these are really good characters. Shinto, if you have Shinto, raise Shinto, and if you got a C6, raise it right now. Jinyan, one misinterpreted girl. Jinyan is a shield bot. That's all that she brings. If she worked correctly and whatnot, and this was working, you could hit 2 enemies and get the last shield. And is her defense times 3 plus 2000 or whatnot. So if you're running her with 3k HP, this is close to 9000 HP on the shield plus 1000 some, which is over 10k with her shield, which is a shield that also applies pyro to everyone that comes in contact with. Hey, first this, I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for showing up. I was just so deep into my thoughts that I just totally didn't see you there. Thanks for showing up. Her weapon is the white plane, and for the defense percent. You could make an argument about running this one, but yeah, the thing is, this character is just not where it should be. I'm not gonna be using her until all her kit gets fixed. Good thing about Jinyan is that you don't need to build this crit rate, you only need to build the crit damage. You still want some crit rate here and there, but that's not the priority on her. Jinyan, very missable unit, and you wouldn't be missing much, especially with other characters like Diona. Diona is just so good. Also, if you got 1 pyro, you will be using Bennett 10 times over Jinyan over here. I'm not saying I don't like her, but fix her and then we'll talk about her. Let's keep moving as fast as humanly possible. Jianlin, they say that the cat is her best in slot. If you are lucky and got where is it? The Wavebreaker Fin, which I don't have. It's gonna be the next on the next weapon banner. That's also a good weapon for her. Artifacts wise, you want for Emblem of Severed Fate, and just running fast. Pause the stream if you need to, or the video on YouTube. I'm just highlighting the good stats on her, and that should be it. She's decent, very good at applying pyro, and then you can melt it or you can vape it. The great thing about Jianlin is that this Pyronado has no ICD on the pyro appliance, so you can like melt every hit, and you can combine her with Tartaglia, for example, and that combo one was really good because you will be vaporizing all the normal attacks. You will apply Hydro, and when the tornado comes around, it's gonna vaporize for a lot of damage. This is quite the good scaling, and it just turns and turns and turns. It's really good. Way better than you give it credit to normally. You'd give it credit to. C4 is the good one on her. I got an argument going on that C5 should let Woba walk, and that should be a thing, in my humble opinion. But that's it. That's it. The other ones are not awesome. C4 is the really fat one. Talent wise, you want to raise the Pyronado up to 8, 9. If you're a Jianlin main, 10 even. Woba, you can stay at 6. And if you're not gonna DPS, don't raise this. If you just want heal her as as a Q bot, don't raise this. It's not gonna be useful. Traveler, I'm skipping because it's the Traveler. Who cares? Mona. My Mona is at C0. My Mona is a bot that just does Qs and multiplies damages. That's it. Not my favorite character. I got her. Yeah, is she useful? Yes, you can do bigger numbers with her. You can apply cryo and then swap into Ganyu or Ayaka, and you will have permafreeze. Yeah, that she's good. Not my most favorite character. Um, Weapon can swap. I got some weapons here and there to use on her. She wants this one because all the ER she gets converted into hydro damage through her passive, and you want some crit because then your critical hits will uh, generate you energy, which is what you want on Mona. Not much to say about her. Not my best character, and just got her out of a 50-50 loss. That's it. Gore's the last character I raised, and he's neither here nor there. I only want him for Ito, for him to deal more damage overall. And I still need to get all the talents done and whatnot. Tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow is gonna be a very busy day. It's gonna be a fast stream. Okay. Good to have you, Frisk. Always a pleasure to when new people show up. You're welcome. If you got any problem, just say that. And if I can help you, I will. Sorry if these replies come way late, but I read. I'm just focused on this because it's gonna go on YouTube right away. What else? Tomorrow that we get the battle pass, it's I'm raising Yoimiya's E to 9 and this to 7, and this will give me automatically the money experience of the battle pass, which is always good. Thing is, I want him to be a little higher talent wise, but he's midway there, and it's like a secondary character just to boost Ito even further. You want the Favonius bow with him, and you want to give him as much crit rate as you can because you're basically banking everything on this skill hitting and being a crit. If you crit with this skill, you get a lot of energy particles, and then everything is good and fine and dandy. You don't need crit damage with him because, for instance, the defense he transfers on the E is flat, and this is 1%, but your crit damage doesn't affect the calculations of the other characters whatsoever, and he doesn't deal damage. That's not his function. But yeah, you just want to level his skills as much as possible and give him as much defense as you can. As I said before, this is middle of the way. You could give him like the opponent's set and the Guardian set, which is a 4-star set that also gives 30% defense. But I don't recommend you do that whatsoever. You're way better off with 2 pieces of emblem of Cyber Fate for the energy regeneration, and then these 2 got defense and defense. The last one is this feather that I rolled the other day. It went into defense twice and into crit rate, which is what I was looking for. And that's Goro, basically. I need to build more defense into him. Don't know how I'm gonna do it, but we're gonna get them down the line. Constellation wise, he is C0 and he'll get to C6 eventually, because all the 4-star characters will get there eventually. With him, the good one is the fourth one, because this makes him a healer when you got the Q active, the burst active. So that then you can swap Bennett for someone else. Then you don't need Bennett for healing, and if you want to boost geo damage for it, for example, you're way better off with Goro than with Bennett. You would use both for maximum boostage, but Goro is better just for specifically him. Also, talking about the specifics, let's jump into Sarah. Good thing about Sarah is that I managed to get her C6. And this 60% additional crit damage is nuts for Raiden. With this, I've managed Raiden doing over 300k damage. And just with the Q, without the additional attacks. With additional attacks, you may as well have dealt over 400,000. It's quite crazy. Sarah scales on base attack, just like Bennett. So her E, which is the one you want to raise, you only get this with level and with the weapon. You don't care about the artifacts attacks percent and whatnot. You don't care about any of that. That's why her best in slot weapon is actually the Skyward Harp, because it has the highest base attack than the other ones, and that's the only thing that matters with her. Artifacts, you see I'm missing one piece of Noblesse, but it's because this piece is between Mona and her. Mona also runs for Noblesse, and now 2 and 2, but that's because the feather is shared with Sarah, because I just don't want to find another one. I should raise this flower actually. What the F is this? I'll raise it. It's not a priority character. But yeah, for Noblesse, and you just care about shooting your E to the ground, or leaving your E into the ground, then swapping to the next character, for example, Raiden, and that's the whole functionality of Sarah. If you want to play her as a character, you can raise her Q to level 8 or 9, and this multiplier is actually really big, so she does hit hard. But the Electro is weird because it's one of those elements that it's not multiplicative. You just don't get additional damage by doing Electro reactions. I think Superconduct is only the resistances both go down, but you're not getting additional damage with it. Maybe I just said something wrong, but you know. Thing is, Electro will never scale as hard as Pyro with Cryo or Hydro with Pyro. Yeah, there's reverse waves and melts and whatnot will always do more damage than any Electro reaction. So yeah. Next character. I'm gonna say Barbara is the thing. Thrilling Tales, for Maidens or the new one. You're better off with Maidens because she doesn't heal enough for the bubble of the new set of the Oceanid Pearl to deal enough damage. C6 as always because that's it. And I shouldn't have raised this. These you can leave 6 and 6 and that's it. Barbara is trash, never play with this character. If you got Kokomi, you got someone better. If you got Quickly, you got someone better. If you got Jean, you got someone who's miles away better and way more functional. Bennett, Diona, I think I've said. Even Shinto that doesn't heal is better than Barbara. Don't use Barbara. Overall, this is just an awful character. The only thing she's good is to transfer buff with the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayer, which is a book that anyone can have. And about her C6 is decent, and her C2 gives additional Hydro damage to the character who is inside her E and healing up. She's horrible regenerating energy, that's why her first constellation gives it to you, and that's why the fourth generation gives it more to you when you charge attacks and whatnot. Barbara is just very bad. That's it. Quick win. It's one character I got in the middle of the works. Tech Sword, because her E has 20 seconds of cooldown and it's really good to be able to use it twice. She's running the Oceanid set. This is her best in slot, in my opinion, because back in the day, Quickly just was a heal bot, and that's it, and that doesn't give you like any reason to use this character, because down the line you don't need as much healing. When I reviewed Bennett, I clearly stated that I don't have him on full HP pieces because that's way too much healing. And now this character will convert all this excess healing that she does, because she does actually heal a lot, especially with her Q. That all this damage will be all this healing, excuse me, will be converted into damage up to 30,000 attack points, which cannot, by the way, be increased with your superconduct. And if you have physical damage on the goblet, you will also get additional damage out of that. As you can see, the artifacts are not raised, but they are quite good if you ask me. Attack percent as much as possible. Attack percent, attack percent, attack percent. The more she attacks, the more she heals. That's Quickly in a nutshell. I got her C1 because Quickly. The C6 is crazy, because if you have everyone dead except Quickly, you hit Q and you revive everyone, and at half HP. But yeah, if you run her on a beast and everyone dies, you don't need to worry. You go to Quickly, you hit Q, and then you keep going. That's easy and squeezy. I don't have her talents raised up because I had her go up to 70 because there's nothing else to do in this game and I'm bored to death. And the review should end here. I got other characters. Lisa just disappeared from the radar once Keshin got here, and Keshin disappeared off the radar once Raiden got here, so that's the descension. Yanfei is really good, and I might get a little bit of time to talk about her. If you got C4 Yanfei, the shield she gives can be really good, especially if you run her with prototype Ember, not with this one, which is I just got her this book as a placeholder, but I don't have Klee, so Yanfei is like the second best to it. The weapon is as per usual, depending on what you got on the artifacts. You want either crit damage or crit rate. And the artifacts wise, are they raised? See the feather, it's not raised, for example, and the flower isn't either. But these are like really good pieces. Really good. This is maybe the worst, but it has a lot of ER, so it's decent. Sorry. I can run an off-piece helmet because the goblet is actually on set, and this is just a spare set. I just raised Yanfei because I had good pieces of this set. Why this set? Because she applies Pyro with every attack, so this is like all the normal enemies will pick additional damage. Also, when you're farming for the other set, you get pieces from this set as well, so may as well give them to someone. I don't care about the stats, but she's got enough crit rate, and some of her artifacts are not raised, so we're gonna get more crit from there. And Yanfei, let me say, it's really good. I was thinking about even raising her, but other characters showed up, so I abandoned that idea. Other characters that are really good, Fischl is really good, especially at C6. Albedo's really good as well, especially if you counter and you got like a good set for her and whatnot, which I don't do and I don't have. Her biggest constellation is C2, and everything else just gives you more bonus to it, but there's nothing to it. Beidou is like Yunjin. It's a carry, not a carry, a counter character. You hit E when it's the correct time, and then you unleash a lot of damage thanks to their own attacks. It's actually one of the little characters that you might not be able to die on, because you just hold E and everything that you get hit you get back, and then you get a shield with the Q. I know she's good. I played with her in the early game, that's why she's kind of raised. Then I re-raised her to 50 for the free wish. That's it. But you know, these are the these are the characters that I just raised in order to get some free wishes or whatnot. But I'm not gonna use them even though they are holding artifacts. Actually, this Amber is holding some crazy artifacts, but it's just a placeholder for whoever needs this. And I've tested both the sets on Ganyu, and she's dealing more damage with the other set than the one she's got. And so I'm gonna leave it at that. Also, the other set has cryo damage, which is always good. From the characters I'm not using, Kaya, I heard he's pretty good because the Q applies cryo continuously, so it's decent. Aloy is very bad. Don't raise her. Noelle, everyone has her. If you're on Noelle main, you got a tank of a unit that can heal herself, deal damage, but she cannot regenerate energy for her sake, even if her life depends on it. But that's it. Sayo is a fun unit. If you don't got Jean and you need an anemo healer, Sayo's fun. She's also a boss, rolling around here, up and down through the map. Rosaria has the niche ability to give her partners 50% of her crit rate, which means you wanna build her with this weapon because it's the highest crit rate spear in the game, more than the Jade, and quite more actually. And yeah, Chongyun is good with Shanha because then you can make everyone deal cryo, everyone that gets under her E. Yeah. 100 swords, spears, and claymores. That's the characters that get cryo infusion. So basically, most of the characters can become cryo characters, and Shanha can buff them and deal more damage. So you can basically do stupid stuff like cryo Zhongli, for example, or other stuff like that. But yeah, characters I don't have, Kazuha, because I'm stupid sometimes on my decision making. Kokomi, which I don't really think is needed, especially if you got Jin. And the last character I don't have is Klee, because it's Klee. She's kind of a terrorist, but yeah, she's fun, and not for me. Maybe not. Maybe Nat's gonna enjoy her when it gets here. Oh, okay. I think it's like everyone. I kind of reviewed everyone. If I missed anything, most likely sound off in the YouTube comments. It's been like 2 hours and some of a stream, and I haven't done anything at all. So I'm gonna just cut the stream here. And this is gonna go live on Twitch, and then I'm gonna edit this video and get it to YouTube. So a little bit of a different stream today. Let me go back to my conversation script. Yeah. Yeah, it's been 2 hours and 26 minutes just for an account review, and I missed like the first minutes of the stream because there's a song and logging in and picking up stuff and saying hi to y'all who showed up. A lot of people showed up today. It's always a pleasure. Uh, also, some people have subscribed in this stream, which is always appreciated. Thanks, Andrew, before I get out of here, and thanks, Ari. This light keeps going on and off, which is annoying. But yeah, thanks for y'all who showed up. Thanks for the viewers that I had for a while. If we managed to be 5, I would have picked a tweet achievement, but I guess a little bit at a time. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Tomorrow is 2.5 live, and that's gonna be very fat. As I said, I'm not getting Yemiko, but I will be summoning on the weapon banner because both the weapons are awesome, and one's best in slot for all the light sword users. Like you could use it on Shinto, you could use it on the Traveler, you can use it on Ayaka if you don't have the Mr. Splitter, you can use it on Bennett if you want more damage on him, if you have enough ER. You can use it on almost everyone. Hey, Cry. Yeah, I've been streaming for 2 hours and a half. When I'm cutting, this is gonna be live, so if you wanna see the full account review, it's gonna be there. It's been a long account review because I got a lot of characters, but it's a bit, and more people are coming in. First of all, thanks for showing up. Pretty much appreciating you both coming here. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's a pity that I'm gonna cut it in a bit, but if you check the bot, you're gonna see the full review, and please do that because it helps us going on. Helps Twitch recommend our channel to new people. Oh, at AR30, you should be saving all your resin until your AR45. Like, don't spend a single resin until your AR45. At AR45, the artifacts that you get from the domains are guaranteed to be at least 5 stars, at least one, and you will need you don't basically you don't wanna spend red. Thank you. Thanks, Harry. Thanks about that. Wow, that's actually a great comment from you. That's one of the comments that I'll be saving. Thanks a lot. That means the comments like that mean a lot to me because I really wanna be good at what I do, and it's not that I wanna stream because I am AR59 and whatnot, but. I think I've invested a lot in this game, not especially money wise, but time wise, and I've read everything. Besides the lore I don't pretty much care. I enjoy it a lot, but I'm not gonna go on and into the lore. As soon as I get it, I will enjoy it. But yeah, about what you were saying, you gotta save all your resin until you hit the R45 because all of these. 4-star artifacts you can begin getting at the R40, but as soon as you hit the R45 you are guaranteed to at least get one every 20 resin for every domain you do. So my tip is to save it to until the R45, save as much resin as you can, just save all your resin until your AR45, and the AR45 just boom. Think about that. Me and Nat, who might still be here on the chat, we raised from our AR45 to 46 in one day, just making domains, non-stop domains, boom, domain. How do you save resin? All the resin you get from everywhere on the game. You get resin First of all, on the top of my head, on the battle pass you get resin, 5 if you buy the expensive one, or 5 additional ones, I should say, but you always get 10 from the battle pass at levels 5, 15, 25, 35, and 45. At all those, if you got the good battle pass, you're getting 2 resin on each. If you buy the expensive battle pass, it's 5 additional resin. You get 1 resin on your birthday. You get resin from the Sakura tree at Inazuma. You get resin from various sources. My thing is save it as your AR45. That's my heads off tip. And yeah, I'm sorry about this light going on and off. It's annoying to me as well. Also, in the teapot, you get 1 free resin every week. I bet you know. Okay, those 35, you may as well save them until you hit AR45. And if you are already AR45, you should have like 10 resin, and everything else should be in there. Tomorrow I'll stream at 3 o'clock, and it's gonna be a fat day because tomorrow is 2.5. And I'm so ready for this. And Kanomiya is gonna have its event of its own. We're gonna get a lot of stuff here. We're getting new events. I want to summon on the weapon banner, really good. So tomorrow around 3 hours and a half, not from now, but going backwards. Here in Spain, it would be 3 p.m. on the afternoon. What about my daily build-up of stuff? Should I condense that? What do you mean though, Frisk? You mean the resins? If you condense the resin, I recommend you condensing resin only for the artifact domains. All the other domains like talent domains and weapon domains, I seriously recommend you do 20 resin at a time without using concentrated resin. You just use the normal one. Artifacts, yes. Domains and ley lines and whatnot, nope. You just save the crystal flies and you do them normally. And there's a reason for that actually. Weapon domains, you get the same amount of possibilities to trigger any kind of drop, either golden one, purple, blue, or green. If you're doing concentrated domain resin or normal resin, meaning you got more tries to try and trigger the RNG to drop you a good piece, a good drop, meaning you might get, I've done weapon talents, I recall doing this with Ganyu not long ago, 20 resin at a time, and one of those domains gave me a golden drop, which is a lot of drops, just in a drop, a purple drop, 2 blue drops, and 3 green drops with 20 resin, which is crazy. The more times you give the chance to the RNG to generate you those numbers, the more chances you will have to. And I don't like condensing resin for these domains for the reason that you don't want to have the RNG close to the every decision that it makes. Meaning that if you get the RNG, say at 20 in one moment, maybe the next one it's not 21, but it's not gonna be a number far from them. Thing is that you want to space those timings, not much, not long, not short, but at the very least, the best results I found is with 20 resin on the talents domains and the weapon ascension material domains. And the artifact domains, you just concentrate resin and just do those because those are the hardest ones to clear, and you don't need to do those the double amount of times for no reason whatsoever. That was a stream. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, I just gotta go because I think this stream should have ended like 40 minutes ago. Glad I didn't leave because now there's like 4 of you watching, and that's much appreciated. I'm gonna cut it though because I gotta call Nat and do stuff with her. We're gonna play some Overwatch, and I still haven't done the dailies. I still haven't done anything about the game. So today, I guess we're gonna be doing that with her. And also, we should be calling from like 10 minutes ago and whatnot. But I'm so glad that this stream is done, and you'll see the full VOD if you want. You can. It's gonna be on YouTube after I edit the Twitch VOD. And that's it. Thanks you all for a lot of people sub today, followed today. Thanks a lot. Means a lot because this is like the only way we got to grow as Twitch members. So besides this like going on and off. I hope you enjoyed what all you saw, and if you are late to the party, just watch the VOD because it's the full account review. Oh, it's back. Tomorrow more. We'll see. I'll see you all tomorrow if you are so kind to join me again. Big day. Come whenever you want or when you're done with your Genshin dailies because I will be here doing all I can do. Unless we get like disappointed, but I don't think so. I'll be streaming at 3 o'clock. It's that's like 21 hours from now. From 20 to 21 hours from now. And after I come back from work, so I hope you see you all tomorrow. If you got friends that love Genshin as you do and as I do, tell them that I'm here. Normally I help people. If you need anything, I help Timid, which is a follower. If you need anything at all whatsoever, I can do it for you, most likely. Except the biz, which I stated that I will not be doing anyone abuses. I don't want the responsibility of wearing someone else's account. I don't want that. But that's it. If you like this kind of chilled information-based stream and content, that's me. That's gonna be what it's all about. And yeah, just if you enjoyed this, see you all tomorrow. Tell your friends to show up because the more the merrier. That's how it is. And I'm gonna just be cutting this stream. It's been 2 hours and 39 minutes, almost 40 on the clock. Oh, and I wanna go to the toilet. Sorry about that. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna cut it. Thanks for you all. Thanks to Krabi for subbing. Thanks to Ari for subbing. Thanks to Andrew for subbing. Frisky, if you're still here and you want to sub, that would be very much appreciated because, as I told you, that's the only way we got to grow. It's just to ask for your favor. If you don't wanna, don't do it. I'll be here tomorrow if you wanna show up again tomorrow, and that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks a lot. This will go also onto YouTube. If you want to recheck everything, you can check the VOD either here or on YouTube. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. I've been Carol the Kaiser, either Carol or Kaiser. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everyone. And sorry if you just joined us. The stream is over. Watch the VODs, please. The full account review is gonna be on the VODs. See you tomorrow for 2.5. Hype! See you tomorrow!